I have never gotten a job which I have auditioned for.
I don't believe in diets.
You don't believe in that?
Your body needs a little bit of everything. It needs a little bit of carbs. It needs a little bit of fat. It needs all of those things. How much of it is
up to your
what you
person,
have to do. I
right.
stopped my work because I wanted to be with my kids a lot
Right.
more. And I did that for a good 12 years where I didn't do anything else besides be with them because I thought that was
12
really
years you
important.
did nothing else? Just brought up your children?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
पहली बार ऑडिशन किया था शिवाजी महाराज का प्ले था आई थिंक हम 6-7 साल के थे
अच्छा।
मैंने ऑडिशन दिया था शिवाजी महाराज का लेकिन मुझे अफजल खान का रोल मिला था तो ये तब से चल रहा है
तब से चल रहा है Welcome to Unstoppable with Rohit Roy, brought to you by Ritebite Max Protein, where, as always, we delve into the inspiring stories of health, fitness, and relentless ambition. In today's episode, we're excited to host two incredible guests from the Indian entertainment industry. First up, Reshma Bombaywala. She's a celebrated supermodel, a jewelry designer, and an actor. She won the Miss Beautiful Smile title at Femina Miss India and was the first runner-up in Gladrags 1995. Known for her elegance and resilience, Reshma balances her dynamic career with a commitment to a holistic lifestyle, often engaging in activities like karate with her children, which she just started. Who better to have on the show than someone like her who's been on top of her fitness game for so many years? My second guest, powerhouse performer, and I can say that because I've shared screen space with him in Sanjay Gupta's Mumbai Saga. Shaad Randhawa made his debut in 2006 with Mohit Sori's Wo Lamhe. He's born into a family with a strong legacy in cinema and wrestling. His father, the legendary wrestler-actor Randhawa ji. Shaad's career is characterized by his diverse roles and dedication to his craft in films like Aashiqui 2 and Ekvillain. Please welcome Reshma and Shaad. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
So happy to have both of you. I've known you for 100 years and I've known you for 50.
maybe a little more than that.
A little more than that. And I'm really, really happy to have both of you because obviously, as obvious, their stories are amazing, fascinating, and you're top. Firstly, I'll start with her, if you don't mind. Ladies first. Reshma. So I must have known you for a better part of 2 decades from the time you...
We can say 3 decades, it's fine. I mean, you already said 100 years, so we can say...
So, okay, no, 2 decades would be the time I have known you. And I've seen your graph as a model, as a supermodel, as an actor. And even today, I get this all the time. Sir, aap to same hi dikhte ho. Aap to same hi dikhte ho. Tell me something. Yeah, but that's, I was telling him that, it makes you look so elegant and different.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of people go and, dye their hair, but you've let it go. Tell me a little bit about your starting and how you got into modeling.
In Xavier's, there were a whole lot of intercollegiate fashion shows that were taking place.
Right.
And somehow I was always included in that.
Okay.
Maybe because of my height, because I was really skinny as well. I was
Right.
like 47 kilos
Oh, wow.
for a good part of my, the earlier years of my life. And I kept winning the best model
In college.
award, yeah. So I said there must be something to it. Went and met Sangeeta Chopra at that time.
Right, of course, she was
really big. She was doing a lot
very
of
big,
shows. She was a family friend, so my aunt took me there and introduced me to her. And she said, "Yep, 3 more shows coming up. You're part of it." And I was
like that?
Just like that.
Wow.
Just like that.
So you didn't have to struggle or anything like that? Not at all? ऐसी कहानियाँ बहुत कम मिलती हैं सुनने को यार. हाँ?
That's amazing.
हम तो अभी भी struggle कर रहे हैं.
सर खत्म ही नहीं होता.
खत्म ही नहीं होता है. So let's start with you on that note because you come from a family obviously of actors, legendary people. When you started, did you always want to be an actor के घर में वो माहौल था कि जैसे मैंने जब पहली बार अमिताभ बच्चन को देखा था मुझे लगा था कि मेरे को एक्टर बनना है.
नहीं मोर और लेस था भाई बचपन से वही माहौल था और मुझे पता था मेरे में एक एक्टिंग कीड़ा है जब मैं स्कूल में था और
स्कूल में से हो गया
स्कूल में से ही था सर बट और स्कूल में क्या था पहली बार ऑडिशन किया था शिवाजी महाराज का प्ले था आई थिंक हम 6-7 साल के थे मैंने ऑडिशन दिया था शिवाजी महाराज का लेकिन मुझे अफजल खान का रोल मिला था तो ये तब से चल रहा है तो या सो तब से मुझे पता था कि एक्टिंग करना है वो जब मेकअप लगाया put the makeup on you and you're on stage, and after you finish your lines, people come up and tell you were so good. You know, the entire feeling of being an
immediate
actor was there
gratification.
since childhood.
Right.
You can say that.
And since, you know, in a way, you're obviously an insider, but I don't think you've got enough, कोई ऐसा promotion आपको पिताजी ने किया या घर वालों ने
नहीं,
किया?
बिल्कुल नहीं भाई, क्योंकि ऐसा था कि
कभी-कभी लगता है अभी भी कि वो outsider वाली feeling आती है?
आउटसाइडर वाली फीलिंग तो नहीं आती भाई, बिकॉज एक्चुअली आई हैव been born and brought up in the industry.
Correct.
But the thing is, my family from day one had told me, okay, this is your struggle, it's going to be, because they completely understood how this line is. It's not easy.
Right.
And they clearly told me that if you have to do whatever you have to do it on your own. We are there to support you, but this is your journey.
Right.
So they were
That's
very clear.
fantastic. And
Yeah,
you
they
feel
were very
happy at every stage because it's your achievement.
Why?
Right?
Because क्या है वो खुद they have all come from humble backgrounds.
Right.
Whether it was my Taya ji, my
Correct.
dad.
Of course.
They were poor farmers in Punjab. They made it on themselves. Mumtaz
Tara
auntie.
Singh ji is this Taya ji, in
Yeah,
case you didn't know.
Mumtaz auntie. She
Right.
started with small roles.
Correct.
You know, itsy bitsy roles, and she
And then
became
she
a
became
superstar.
a mega star, yeah.
So their point is, we all have done it.
You should do it too. Go through the grind.
Go through the grind. It's your life. I mean, your choice.
Reshma, you said you had no struggle getting into the industry, but I was a small part of the modeling fraternity at that time, and I knew there were serious struggles while you were moving up the ladder. In fact, मेरे दोस्त मधुर भंडारकर ने तो पिक्चर ही बना दी थी, fashion. Did you ever face any, what should I say, obstacles or any challenges which was an affront to you? And you can be as honest as you want to.
I don't think the girls had any problem.
Oh, really? So it's we who had a problem?
Yeah. I think the boys faced most of the problem. First of all, because I think there was always less work for the boys.
Right.
The girls always had enough work because they were the sort of main group of the fashion show. And outside of that, I think they were being wooed by possibly, you know, a whole lot of designers, I suppose.
Right.
So no, so the girls, I didn't.
Any
have
stories
problem.
that you've heard of your close male friends having gone through anything you would like to share?
No, I wouldn't like to share.
You can share without names.
No.
But now you've reached a stage wherein you're doing your thing, you're designing, but you also couple with, you know, you're obviously very busy doing all these things that you're doing.
I do
and
many
you-
different things.
And you many different things, yeah. And I was reading about you that you started doing karate with your kids, which is fantastic though. At any age you
Absolutely.
can start anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you kind of couple your fast-paced life? You also have a very hectic social life, and you
Yep.
continue to do, which is great fun. How do you couple a holistic lifestyle along with all these work-based?
The minute you feel it's too much, you just have to cut back. Or I mean, I take on only enough work which I know that I can do. I'm not out every night. I like to spend time with my kids, and that was the time when I was
That's also
taking
a whole
them.
lot of work.
It is, but it's very fulfilling. It's what I wanted to do as well. So I stopped my work because I wanted to be with my kids a lot
Right.
more, and I did that for a good 12 years, where I didn't do anything else besides be with them because I thought that was
12
really
years you
important.
did nothing else? Just brought up your children?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And then the last 2 years, I've sort of come back into the fold because they're a little bit older,
Right.
more
So they can handle
independent. Their
themselves
days
now.
are longer at school.
So you do have to
know.
balance out everything while
Absolutely.
they're growing up.
Absolutely.
Great. Shaad, now since
Ji,
this is a podcast on health, fitness, nutrition and everything related to overall wellness,
Ji, bhai.
I have to ask you this question. 2019, Mumbai Saga.
Yes.
I had 8 packs, boulder shoulders, and you
Absolutely.
were a bit off.
I
your
was a bit
fitness
off.
game.
Yes, I was a bit off.
And
right?
you have come back now like this. I saw your Instagram posts
Yeah.
where you're pumping iron, you're ripped. How did that happen? What made you come back on the fitness trail, and who inspired you?
Okay, honestly, it looked like, I'm just saying it because I'm on your show. But the truth is, you are the one. I remember. I remember. I was one day sitting in his van, and he just looked at me, and he was ripped and looking so good. And we had obviously John Abraham was in the
Right.
film. He himself is known for his
Correct.
fitness and his physique, and there was him. He was fantastic. So I just looked at he just looked at me and said, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
you have
I-
this height, you have this personality. Why don't you just go out there and do yourself some service and
Yeah.
But
But isn't that true? I
I
looked
agree.
at him. I said, he's tall, he's strapping. I said, why am I looking like this and you're not? Because we're playing almost the similar kind of characters. And it was for me personally, when Gupta told me that you're doing a film with John, my first thing was, boss, I have to look like I'm standing with a John Abraham.
Yep.
You know, they should not say कि Sanjay Gupta iska dost hai isliye cast kar liya. So I did that, and I remember telling you that you know you have to make that change, and you did. So which is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And I remember even then you told me that just do it for yourself.
Yep.
And you'll just start feeling just so good about yourself, and that's true. Once you get into it, it's like an addiction.
It is the best addiction.
You feel good about yourself. Your mind, body is aligned. You feel positive. It's magic. I think exercise. So whoever doesn't do it,
I think the concept of this show is also that if we can inspire, like if I inspired him, it was not like I went out to inspire him, but if you guys can inspire these people.
You may not even realize it sometimes that you're doing. It's just that one comment or one statement that helps.
Yeah. You don't know what sticks with whom. Like the conversation he had with me was so heart to heart.
Yeah.
It just.
You got to be honest with each other. If you
Yeah.
can't be honest with friends, then there's no point. And maybe I was a little too hard on him on that day. Because I felt that he should be doing a little more. But we also go through these phases where we kind of relax and say, "Theek hai." Does that happen to you? Do you ever let
Cheap
yourself
days,
go?
of course.
Absolutely.
Of course, absolutely. And you have to, because you can't go non-stop otherwise, no?
Yeah.
Then
So I
you
heard a
just-
very good thing called, one of the trainers I follow on Instagram, he said it's better to do 70% regularly than to try and do 100% every day because you will fail. Consistency is key here. 70% लगे रहो, थोड़ा बहुत cheating कर लिया, खाना खा लिया, कभी बाहर चले गए.
But I think what he's trying to say is if 7 out of 10 days you show up.
Yeah, you show up. You just show up.
Okay.
And my thing is, I am a little different. I show up every day.
Yeah.
Once I show up, then I see that the first set that you crank out, something happens inside, then you end up finishing your workout.
The endorphins, no? They kick in. So
And another thing I want to ask you, you must be tired, a long day, you have kids, you have family, you have business. When you're feeling really tired, do you tell yourself to go to the gym or say, okay, chill out, today let me not go?
okay, so I don't go to the gym, but there's different
go to the
things
gym?
I do.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I don't go to the gym.
At
But
all?
I do other stuff that keep me active. So
Tell me how.
Well, karate is 3 times a week, and it takes out a lot of you because there's no fans. It's
Right.
not an AC room, so I think that in itself is quite strenuous. I dance.
Lovely. I want to start dancing too.
So yeah, so I
really
do
wanna
fun
start
stuff. I think
dancing.
gym for me is not fun.
Okay.
I need to do fun stuff. So I've taken up Zumba classes, so where there is very high intensity movement,
Correct.
but it's fun for me to do.
Yoga?
Yoga is not my
Not
scene.
something.
No, not yet at
So
least.
I want to say something because since I try and give out whatever best piece of advice that I have in my dictionary and my vocabulary, it is very important after 40, 45 for everybody to do some kind of strength training. It is very important, and of course you can go back home and do research on this, but longevity is directly related to pushing strength.
And lean muscle mass is what they say, which happens by
of course you're doing a
strength training.
lot of things, like karate is a high intensity sport.
Yeah.
Not a sport but a art. But do a little research on this.
I do believe you though.
And you will see the difference in your, since you're already so fit, it'll kind of scale you from 9 to 10. But
I'll keep that in mind.
No, you must, because this is for the last 1.5, 2 years since I've been trying to kind of work on my own fitness, I've been doing a lot of research. Kaisa hota hai, aisa hota hai. And a lot of people, there's a myth again, the young girls also believe कि नहीं हमको gym जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं, muscle बनेगा, which is obviously not correct.
Absolutely. I think the misconception is that अगर वो gym जाएंगे और weights उठाएंगे तो they'll become, big or they'll start looking bigger, which I
But ऐसा होता नहीं है.
बिल्कुल नहीं होता.
But I'm surprised. I would never have guessed.
I think 90%, not 90, okay, 70% is diet.
Yeah, it's nutrition, 100%.
So
So we had
70%.
Madhukar Talwalkar. Have you heard of Madhukar Talwalkar? He's
No.
the OG.
Absolutely.
The Talwalkar
Oh,
gyms.
yeah, right, okay.
He's
There's
the
one
OG
just
of bodybuilding in India, and he was on my show a couple of weeks back. And he said, आप लोग 70 बोलते हो, 70 नहीं, 80-85% nutrition होता है. You are what you eat.
Exactly.
Which is true. Struggles की बात करते हैं, शाद जी. इनकी लाइफ में तो कुछ स्ट्रगल नजर ही नहीं आ रहा मेरे को. हाँ, शुरुआत भी अच्छी हुई, ठीक ठाक चल भी रहा था.
I've been through 2 pregnancies. There's enough struggle.
That's a good kind of struggle. I think everybody should go through that. I mean, I wish sometimes that men could go through that because that kind of completely changes you as a human being. I mean, anybody who can take that stress,
Yeah.
it's superb. I envy my wife. Anyway, talking about struggles, we have a lot of struggles in our careers.
Absolutely.
I'm an outsider, you're still an insider, but we still have similar struggles to get the right kind of roles, the right kind of makers, the directors, the people we want to work with. How important is mental strength when it comes to going through these lows?
Absolutely important. I don't think you should even attempt to be, be in this industry if you're not mentally strong, because you have to kind of believe in yourself and, keep moving forward, like Rocky Balboa says, it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's not easy because, you know how it is in actor's life, there's more often than not, there's rejection.
Of course.
You're being rejected every day. You're giving an audition. You're getting rejected every day. But
does it still happen to you after so many years of being?
Of course
really?
it does.
Wow.
Still does.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Still does. And it's fair enough because, I think it's very important that the director or, the writers and the makers of, the film or the show are happy with who they are casting.
Right.
Just because they don't see you in that particular part doesn't mean that you're not good.
Not good. Correct. This is another important lesson. A lot of you who are going out there auditioning, and I can also share my own stories. I have never gotten a job which I have auditioned for.
Mostly.
Till date.
Yeah, most of it even I haven't.
I have never gotten a job. Only one that first ad I did with Sushmita Sen when she came back, Kame, was the only commercial I've gotten till date after an audition. I haven't got a single film where I've auditioned for. I have not got a single show that I went and auditioned for or a commercial. So the lesson for you guys to learn really is that, auditions are just a way of saying whether you fit into that particular project.
Correct.
Doesn't make
you per se bad.
Did you ever feel after these rejections? I was hoping to ask you the question, but you have faced no rejection. So after a rejection, do you feel, or a multiple rejection, do you feel, yaar, shit, enough is enough? Because you're from a privileged family.
No.
You have a good, economical.
Yes, bhai, of course you feel dejected, you feel down, but you have to get back up.
But did you ever feel कि बस बहुत हो गया, अब मेरे को नहीं करना है?
एक पॉइंट आया जब मुझे लगा कि मुझे इसके बारे में सोचना नहीं है, क्योंकि it was really consuming me, emotionally and mentally, and it was getting too much. That's why I, at one point of time, I did not really think about acting in my life. But luckily for me, or fortunately for me, that's exactly the time when I was offered Aashiqui 2. Okay. When I just randomly met Mohit at a party.
Right.
And he said, I want you to do a part. And he said, are you even acting anymore?
Oh my God.
I said, yeah, of course I would love to. That's how it happened.
When you go through this lull, obviously as an actor, there are lots of time people actually, there's a period of my life also, 2014, 15, where I wasn't doing much work. And people used to actually walk up to me and say, kya kar rahe ho? I said, what do you say?
अभी next क्या आ रही है?
Next क्या आ रही है?
आपकी next क्या आ रही है?
Next क्या हो रहा है? जिम में जाओ, वही सवाल, पार्टी में जाओ. क्या हुआ?
बस चलता तो हर फ्राइडे आती भाई.
And I used to be quite blasé about it. I said, हाँ, काम नहीं है. And they used to say, तो कुछ और नहीं कर रहे हो? मतलब भैया देख ले, plan भी कुछ कर ले. And 2015, Kabil came through. So, that's completely. Since you said that you had no major hardships even while you were kind of modeling and climbing up the ladder, any instance you remember of maybe even a semi kind of rejection which dejected you, but you hit back and said, I'm going to get this?
No, so what you said earlier was right. The auditions that I would attend, I would not get.
Okay.
So there were ad films that were happening that, and I felt at that point that they would tend to do the auditions more just for the numbers to show that they held the auditions. I agree
with you that we have
and we call so many people, and whether it's for the billing, whether it's just to show the client.
The client, I guess.
Kaam itna kar rahe hum.
Yeah.
So you're right. None of those ever came through. But the ones that I was doing nothing for, I had no idea about, I would get a call and we want you to do this.
But when you did feel those rejections, how would you react to them?
I would get annoyed, and then that's the reason why I would go for auditions less. And I'd, if I got called for it, I'd be like, I don't want to. I know I won't get it. So what is the point of wasting my time and going all the way there and doing all of that?
Okay. You mentioned nutrition some time back, and I would obviously have come to it because it's a very important vertical in our show. There's a lot of rocket science on Instagram about nutrition, right? And you're obviously someone who eats well. Tell me, what are your thoughts on nutrition? What's a balanced diet? Do you believe in these fad diets, or there's so many diets on Instagram or social media and YouTube? Or do you think that a good, healthy Hindu or whatever Indian balanced diet is enough?
I don't believe in diets.
You don't believe in that?
Your body needs a little bit of everything. It needs a little bit of carbs. It needs a little bit of fat. It needs all of those things. How much of it is
up to your
what you
person,
have to decide.
Again, I also agree with her, but I think everybody's constitution is different.
Right.
So what might suit me might not
Will not
suit you.
suit- yeah,
So you have
correct,
to be
of
very
course.
aware of what is good for your body. Primarily, I think if you're eating between 1500 to 2000 calories, most of us will be fine, and you can, I think, eat whatever you want to eat.
But do you do that? Do you count your calories, or do you nothing at all? So it's just
What I would
Are you
do when
vegetarian?
I was younger, no, I'm not.
Non-vegetarian.
I'm non-vegetarian.
Right.
When I was younger, I think invariably I would just eat really small portions, but I would eat very regularly. That somehow helped maybe my metabolism.
which
But then
is-
I was also very active.
which is the
like
best
I was
way to
out and I
eat.
was dancing and I was traveling and so I had a very active life. Since having kids, obviously pregnancy will make you hold on to a little bit of weight.
Right.
And I realized I didn't have the energy to go to the gym or the motivation, because at the end of the day, it's very tiring. It's mentally very exhausting.
course.
It's physically very exhausting. And I could not find the energy to sort of get inside a gym to lose that last bit of weight that I wanted to lose. At which point I looked up intermittent fasting. Again, for some people it works, for some people it
No, it
doesn't.
works
It
for
really
me.
depends on,
Yeah, it works
and
for
it
me,
did for me.
Oh, it worked for you
did
too? Right.
Beautifully.
Yeah, beautifully. I think the 16
and that's how
magic.
I brought back my weight relatively.
Any postpartum depression or challenges?
No, luckily I was blessed to have
Great,
two
superb.
really good
And so you still
pregnancies.
follow this intermittent?
Yes, I started again because I'm going to Europe next month.
So you have to be beach ready?
Beach board ready.
Great. शाद, तुमने खाने की बात तो बीच में ही कर ली, लेकिन मेरा सवाल तुमसे कुछ और ही था.
जी, बोलो.
Do you know he owns Bayroute, the restaurant?
Really?
Yeah, he's the
really
one
good
who's
food.
the, yeah.
I've been
So
there
I,
many
if
times.
you order it right now, I'll gorge on it. Don't you feel greedy enough to eat food from there every day? What are you talking about?
मुझे
Diet
तो
and-
लगा था भाई आप लोग ने मुझे मुंबई सागा में बेरूट के खाने के लिए लिया.
So John is such a prankster going away from the fitness thing. So we'd sit in my van in the afternoon and then we'd go to Mr. Gupta's van for lunch. And every time he would say, "Arey, Shaad, you are there. Okay, let's order for Bayroute." And my brother used to order a fucking feast, okay? A feast, everything on the menu. And John Abraham is looking. He picks up one piece of something and one piece of something
And he's
doesn't
ordered.
eat.
No, and he's ordered like I want to eat this. I want to eat
this.
But he won't like.
So
He
Jake
didn't touch
tastes it. If
anything.
we can see it,
so
it's
he would
enough.
look at that and he
And-
make us finish all of it.
And then he say, "You eat."
Yeah,
No,
you eat, you
Why
eat.
you? He'll feed everybody. But
And I realized that after the first day, I thought okay, maybe he's already eaten something. Second day, same thing. Third day, then I got
he asked
caught
me.
onto his prank.
He asked me, "Did you see him eat?" I said, "No, actually, I haven't."
No,
He said,
we don't, because we were so interested in eating up the food. And Mr. Gupta, of course, the legendary foodie. His shoots are not like shooting. पता ही नहीं चलता कब कहानी
It
खत्म हो
is
गई picture.
amazing. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay, so now anything else you guys want to add in terms of, like I've not asked you, you said you don't go to the gym. And before we came here, we discussed a little bit about your routine. What is the simplest routine to follow according to you in the gym? For any age?
I think if you can, I would advise if you're trying to lose weight or stay in shape, maybe 20 minutes of running.
Okay.
At a speed of 8 or 9 if you can, even at regular
better your
intervals.
cardiovascular
Yeah,
rate.
to just get your cardiovascular working. I think that's very important for everybody. And I think walking is an exercise which is really underrated.
Yes, it is.
So for everybody who is doesn't want to go to the gym, who feel lazy to go to the gym because that they don't like the gym atmosphere because they feel it's work. So for them, all you have to do is download your favorite music and just walk
as much as you
just
can.
will do
walk
that.
because it relaxes
No, but
you.
he said it correctly that it's very underrated. In
it's
fact,
very-
even if you go to the gym,
Yeah.
this is a new thing I started. Just walk on an incline.
Yeah.
7, 9, 11.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it works like magic.
It works like magic.
I used to think that it's zero. I used to not sweat.
And
I
then
used to say
what
walking.
happens, organically you start running. So if you're walking
Yeah,
at the
because you
speed
get
of 6,
fed up
7,
and
you're
then
like,
you want to run.
abhi thoda main jogging
Correct.
bhi kar lunga. So I think it's like taking baby steps for everybody who gets a little intimidated by gyms.
But I'd like to add to this that it is not enough. It
Yeah,
is
it's not
great.
enough.
It
Yeah.
is not enough.
Yeah.
What I told her, if you are trying to build a body which is lean mass, lean muscle, you have to do weight training. So don't think मैं चलने लगूंगा तो मेरी body बन जाएगी.
नहीं, weight training is of course very important.
चलो serious बातें बहुत हुई, थोड़ी मस्ती करते हैं अभी. Now since I have always sat here on this chair and I have always asked questions of my guests. Now I throw the opportunity to you. This is a very fun segment called the Ask Rohit segment. You ask me anything. Stick to nutrition.
I want to ask you.
Where's the fun in that then?
Okay, ask me anything. I will answer you honestly.
In 2019, I think it was Mumbai Saga's set. I met you and I was like, this guy looks the same.
Right.
I've always seen you, looking good, well maintained.
Right.
And now what? It's been 5 years.
Right. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, man.
And you're looking better. So
thank you.
I think you have to share what you do, rather than.
Okay, so I firstly thank you. Yeah, but I keep it very, very simple.
Yeah.
I have added 2 things to my workout schedule and my cardiovascular schedule. One is I eat very well. I don't believe in diets, but I eat very good food. It's got the right amount of protein. My protein is a little higher because I work out a lot. But I've discovered 2 things in the last 5 odd years. Exactly 2021.
Yeah.
I've discovered Ayurveda. And I go every 6 months to this place in Kerala for my Panchkarma. It's a 14-day thing, which is a minimum that you should do. I remove all my toxins, clear out my insides. Of course, you lose weight. I was there last week for about 11 days. I lost 5 kilos. I cleanse my system, rejuvenate, and when I come back, then again I take baby steps to my regular diet. And the other thing I've discovered, which again I spoke to you about, is yoga. And like how walking is underrated, once you start yoga, of course you're doing too many things. You've covered it all. But someone like me who had great mobility issues, I've injured myself doing stunts all over these years. My back is bad, my upper back is bad, my shoulders are bad because we used to land on boxes, right? Remember the earlier days, we had no harnesses. And so I've discovered that yoga has really set me free. I wake up fresh in the morning, I have no backache, no aches at all. So to answer your questions, these 2 things I've discovered along with. Kya karu? Yes, your turn.
My turn.
Why am I thinking there's a naughty question in store?
In the film industry, if there was a movie that you would have liked to do, which one would it have been?
Chakdeindia.
Oh, nice.
I would have wanted to do Chakdeindia. I am very, very fiercely patriotic when it comes to my country. And secondly, when I saw Shahrukh doing that role, never do I feel jealous of an actor. I'm so, what should I say? I'm very comfortable in my space and the kind of work I've done. Of course, I do want to do a lot more work. But when I saw Chakdeindia, I said, "Arey yaar, ye role milna chahiye tha. Ye role, aisa koi role mile." And he was, of course, fantastic in it. That's why he kind of, he not only inspired those 11 girls to win on camera, but he inspired so many young Indians, whoever playing hockey especially, to take it seriously. Good question.
Oh, thank you.
Why was I thinking she's going to ask me a naughty question?
That's for when the cameras stop rolling.
Okay, moving on, and we've reached this segment, which is now, it's like a sign-off, and I have faced a lot of rejections and whatever you call them. I don't even call them rejections. I call them a learning curve.
Learning curve, absolutely.
Not getting picked for an audition is nothing. Nothing at all.
It's part
and parcel of life. But my mantra always has been that I'm a positive personality, and I believe the line which I have always will probably be on my epitaph: change is the only constant. Everything that comes around goes around, and it goes on and on and on. So this is called the keep going mantra. Supposing you were stuck or you plateaued, what would be that? What keeps you going in life?
I have 2, in fact.
Oh, nice.
I think they sort of maybe can connect together as well. There's always a good reason for something to happen in your life. So usually it's for the negative or the rejection or something that you don't get. That's when you think of this line. You never think of it when things are great.
Correct.
So I would have to say that when something happens, it's always for a good reason.
Okay.
And this too shall pass.
And this too shall pass. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, भाई साहब आपका कौन सा है? Keep going mantra.
भाई मेरा यही है कि अब तक जो भी किया है, थोड़ा बहुत भी लोग जो जानते हैं, पहचानते हैं, जितना भी थोड़ा बहुत काम किया है, खुद से ही किया है, खुद से ही ढूंढना है, थोड़ा तो आगे बढ़े हैं लाइफ में.
करेक्ट.
जहाँ से शुरू किया था, तो ऐसे सोच के you feel like there's still a lot more to achieve, and you have to keep believing in yourself and believe in the good that you've done, and how sincere and honest you've been, and trust the universe to make it happen.
Fantastic. That's superb. On that note, I think it's time to sign off. Thank you, Reshma, for being here. It's been a pleasure. No, totally.
Absolutely.
And I've learned so much today, from the conversation. Shaad,
Thank
mere
you,
bhai,
bhai.
I wish you all the best.
Thank
you know,
you,
I have only the best feelings for you, and I hope that you conquer everything that comes your way.
Thank you.
And you guys, we will see you next week with 2 or 3 or 4 different guests who hopefully will inspire you on this journey of life and spirit, and indomitable spirit as I call it. Till then, be unstoppable, keep watching me, and lots of love. Blessings. Take care.